Hello lads and lassies and welcome back to my channel as I'm Mr. Mayhem. Today we'll be going over the most disappointing games of 2023 in my opinion. Now obviously these are my opinion. There's one I think that is the most disappointing for me this year, or probably tied with two, but yeah. Let me know what some of your most disappointing games of this year are in the comments, and we can have a discussion. But before we get into this, if you do enjoy this, don't forget to like, drop a comment, subscribe for more. You can support me on Patreon, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, links in the description. Now I've only got two of these physically, so the rest I'll just talk offhand about. But first up, is Jedi Survivor. Now, initially I didn't have that many bugs with this, as a lot of people did, but over time, I have realized that I don't know. There was something disappointing about it, and I did run into a couple bugs. There was the bounty hunter completion bug that really fucked me over and pissed me off. But there's something about this that just didn't quite stick with me, and I think the twist of what happens with a certain character is very good, but it does end up feeling like the middle chapter of a trilogy. And as the months have gone on since I played this, I just no. There's something about it I just don't click with. I think the first one is better. I think this one mechanically is better, but the first one is a better story. So sadly, this has ended up on this list. I would say, now I will preface this, I don't think it's bad. It's disappointing. This is probably the closest to a good game that is on this list. This is probably like the one I would say that is like the closest to not being on this list. But yes, Jedi Survivor. Next up is Starfield. Yeah, Starfield to me, I don't know. I was expecting something a bit more, and what ended up happening was just, it was Fallout 4 in space, but I don't know. Just something didn't click with me about it. Like, there's all these planets, but it just feels so empty. And people have gone over it before, but it's not a bad game. It's just very mid. And I found myself just kind of bored when I got towards the 1,000 Gamerscore Platinum ending. But yeah, I don't know. Starfield for me, I was very hyped for it. I did put a fair bit of time into it, and I will go back to it for the expansions, but nah, not for me in terms of just, I don't know. There's something about it that just didn't, I don't know. Maybe Bethesda's lost their touch, but I hope we get a new Fallout relatively soon, because, yeah, Starfield just didn't do it for me this year, sadly. So, and it's funny how it's kind of arrived and then disappeared and no one talks about it anymore, when it was hyped up for years, but then we have, now this is one that I was debating whether to put on the list or not, but I'm counting it for me. It's Teardown. Now, I love when you're destroying things in this game. It's awesome. But personally, I didn't get the memo that it's meant to be a puzzle game where you figure out how to do all these different objectives, and 99% of the time you're not destroying stuff. And that really, really kind of ruined the game for me a bit. Now, I know you have the sandbox mode and that, but I like objectives where, I mean, some people might find a campaign where you just have to go through and destroy stuff a bit boring, but personally, I would love that. Now, I'm not saying the game's bad. If you love Teardown, that's awesome. But for me, I would have preferred it if there was more destruction in the campaign rather than this puzzle stuff. But that's just me. I still think it's a great game, and it's a lot of fun in the sandbox mode. But personally, and the reason I say this is because Teardown came out on consoles this year. So, last one before we get to our tiebreaker, it's Atomic Heart. Now, I was kind of hoping this would be a lot like BioShock in that way, and it was, but it just was so broken on launch. It was so janky. The gunplay felt awkward. The dialogue is awful. There was just so much about it that just threw me off, and I did enjoy my time with it, but there was so much that put me off, personally. Yeah, Atomic Heart was a big disappointment. I'd been excited for it for a while, but yeah, it's not a bad game. It's just quite mediocre, and it feels like when you buy BioShock from Russian Wish, or just Wish, I guess, but yeah. And finally, for our tiebreaker, I have one of these physically and one of them it's digital. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Payday 3. I'll start off with Payday 3. Well, no. I think Payday 3 wins, so we'll do Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3, the campaign for this. Now, I will say, I quite like the zombies for this. I think it's quite good. Just better if I had friends. But the campaign for this is a rushed, botched, just piece of shit with just, it's given no time to breathe. It feels like just a stretched out expansion. I loved I loved 2022's Modern Warfare 2, and the campaign at least, and this was just such a fucking wet fart of a sequel, and I'm so upset by this. I've played a lot of zombies, I enjoy that. I'm not a multiplayer person anymore, but yeah, I got my money's worth out of it, only for the zombies barely, but the campaign is just atrocious. And it really upsets me to say that, because I love this group of characters. And there was never a moment where I was like, yes. It was just like, I don't know. But let's get on to the final game. Payday 3. What the fuck happened with this? Server's not available for like 2 weeks. And the heists are boring, repetitive. There's not enough of them. The progression is shit. I will say the gunplay is a lot better and the way the game plays is better. But there's just so little to do, so little to achieve. And you can't play offline. It's just... I've been waiting for Payday 3 for like 8 years. And we get this fucking garbage. Bear in mind, I did play a decent bit of it, but still. Hopefully they improve it over time, because I really, really enjoyed what I played. Like, I enjoy the game. I enjoy, like, the fundamental mechanics and the gameplay, but I just don't like the heists that much. Yeah. And there's a lot more to it than that, but that's probably my most disappointing game of 2023 for me, sadly. So, hopefully next year I can come back to you guys and be like, it's not bad now. So, but, yeah. Let me know what some of your most disappointing games of this year were. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you do enjoy this, remember to like, drop a comment, subscribe for more. You can support me on Patreon, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, links in the description. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.